We are live. We're live.
Yes, we are.
All right. There was like a bunch of people waiting, and now all of a sudden it's zero people there.
Everybody in Facebook, just bear with us for a few minutes. As always, trying to get it shared to all the groups.
Plus, you know, he has to come.
Bourbon whiskey groups.
We got the guy that said he'll be there in 10, 15 minutes. That's the guy that's usually like, I can only be on for a half hour. now we're delaying, and so we're just gonna keep them. I mean, honestly, we're drinking Stag tonight. I mean, when you're drinking Stag,
well, I got George T. Stag, and I wasn't supposed to have a pre-pour of George T. Stag.
You could have a pre-pour of whatever you want, but look at me. I'm wearing George T. Stag. I mean, Stag and George T. Stag.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
But what did you think of that? I'm checking YouTube right now. Welcome everybody on YouTube. I'll get this going.
I believe I can say that I drank all my Stag Jr.
All right, we are live. One person's here. I hope it's tatered down.
I got a bottle hidden somewhere in those 300 or 400 backup bottles, bourbon closet.
Welcome
whiskey somewhere
to our podcast.
It was too many to go through and try to find that one bottle.
Tasting Stag. Let us know where you're from and what you're sipping on.
Yes, absolutely, yo. And if you got any questions,
we got 7 people already.
About Stag or Stag Jr. tonight.
Oh my God, I have to
please chime in and ask them.
I'm not even in the.
You know about answering them.
I'm not even in the video right now. I have to move over. Let's see what happens now. I should be there. This should move over this way. Oh, there goes the stupid. Oh, there we go. We're good there. That should. Let's see. I should be in the video now. I might have. I'm still too. I'm going to move that over a little bit and show me a little bit more. Justin Pete, guys. Let's take
to this George T. Stag group.
Down and over just a little bit. All right.
I've never posted anything. So
all right.
Showcase.
I will be monitoring comments on Facebook and YouTube. CT. Hey, Leland, what's up? And we got Chris Ray here. What am I watching? You are watching our podcast. We're setting up right now. We're going to do a podcast on Stag. So check it out. We usually share it to all the groups in a little bit. We'll be getting going in a few minutes. Chris, good to have you here. We got Randy. Don't see Walker here yet, but everybody on YouTube and Facebook once again.
Be able to get in with us.
What?
Said hopefully Walker's not working tonight and he'll be able to get in with us.
Yep, and
is currently serving our country. And just got moved out to Arizona.
Yeah, and in the next, I believe in May, actually, he's I think he's got at the beginning of May would be my, I think.
Okay, I thought he's already been starting to do some moving.
Of course he's doing moving. He has to move his collection.
I know, yeah. He's been packing it up and boxing all that stuff up, and that's a lot.
Yes, for sure.
Walker is a really, really, really good friend of the group, and does a lot for us in promoting us. And a big shout out to Walker. Like I said, he does a lot of things that to help us out.
Yes, for sure. And
he comes up with bottles a lot of times too that sometimes that we can't get ourselves. So
I just got to make sure. I don't think I turned. Yes, did I? Yeah, that one's on. All the microphones are on. There we go. Let me make sure the microphone is working for. I don't think I turned. Yes, did I? Yeah, that one's on. All the microphones are on. There we go. Let me make sure the microphone is working for. What kind of mic? Are we having a little bit of problem with the microphone?
No, I just turned yours down so my wife can't hear you no more. It is how you like to help me out with our relationship.
I'm trying to make sure. I just set it here. I'm hoping it'll do it. Let's see. I'm checking.
It is how you like to help me out with our relationship.
I didn't even get that correct. I just set it here. I'm hoping it'll do it. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's working. I didn't even get that correct. All right, we got it working.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's working. It's like I'm getting feet. Oh my God, why?
Where are you getting the feedback from? If you knew that, you'd be able to take care of it, right?
Yeah, I think I was getting feedback from the actual phone. All right.
Okay.
All right, so as soon as
Turn
you're
mine
done
down.
sharing, I will let everybody know and we'll get this podcast going. If
Yeah.
CT could jump in, there's lots to talk about in between before we get started on the Stag.
Yeah,
When he jumps in, then we'll get on the Stag. Sipping up. Look at that. It's not even been 10, 15 minutes and he's in.
Walker. I mean, CT.
It's not even been 10, 15 minutes and he's in.
Hang on, I'm almost there, guys.
Okay. You're
Hey,
here.
you're doing good. We're not even got started yet. I'm still sharing.
And
You guys hear me okay?
yeah,
Yes,
you're
sir.
perfect.
Doing good.
Perfect. We're getting there.
What batches do you have tonight there, CT?
What the hell just happened?
Well, I mean, I have more. Do you want me to get them all or just these?
No, I only have two.
I have a Stag Jr. batch number 12, and I have a Stag batch 24D, which is the one that came out recently.
God.
Okay. I've got B and C, 24B and 24C. I got a George T. Stag.
Yep, I got that one.
Where do you see the B?
22B, 23B, 20. There's some other ones up there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you've got a collection of them.
Well, the
I
Stags
just
I got lucky.
sip on mine and open them up as I deplete the others.
Yeah, I got lucky and actually
where do you
just got
see the
24.
B and D?
It's on the very bottom right corner of the label and black.
Yeah.
The black part says 24D. The old Stag Juniors didn't have batch numbers. You had to go by the proof to know what batch.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so the new
yeah.
ones do have batches?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You guys see me okay on there? I can't really tell.
Yeah, we see you great.
Yeah.
On the back, on the black label that doesn't have the writing?
Bottom right
The
corner.
very front label.
Yeah, the front label.
That tells the proof.
Bottom right corner.
Where the proof is, it's down to the right of that.
It does not.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
You're looking on the Junior or the Stag?
The Stag.
Well, Stag Junior is the one that doesn't say.
Right. This one says this one's alcohol 65.5, 131 proof. There is no. Is it little?
Very little.
What?
Yes.
There's nothing.
Right past the proof, it says like a 24B or 23C or.
Absolutely not. 131.
You're sure that bottle doesn't have a Junior?
It does not. This is the bottle that Nash gave me.
Huh?
It does. Right hand corner.
It doesn't have it.
No.
He's right though.
Wow.
That
was the. Oh, you got the first one. That I gave you the very first batch. That's the first batch of the Stag. That was like 2018,
Yeah, I was gonna
2017.
say you can look up what time that was released by the proof.
131.
That was the very first batch that was released, and I gave that to you.
Should I not eat?
Baby
Should I
Stag.
not drink it?
No, they'll always make more.
Baby Stag, $24. Baby Stag.
I couldn't even last night figure out
You
how
know
to.
what Freddie Johnson says? Drink the bourbon.
Yeah.
They'll always make more.
I found that very true.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, but this would be worth something.
I got a closet full that says that they'll always make more.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a bunch of French.
What, honey?
Nothing.
Hey, I'm just gonna tell you, the day Amazon starts delivering liquor, we're all in deep shit.
No,
Can you imagine?
I'm cut off.
Can you imagine you sitting on the couch and you're like on a Saturday morning and you're just like, man,
Oh my gosh!
And you get on there and there's this new bottle you haven't had, and you're like, oh, it'll be here tomorrow. Yep, click.
Yes. Oh my gosh! I'll be in trouble. I will be in trouble.
Where did it go?
Already, I heard my inner conscience say, "You better not be doing that."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it came to me from the other room.
Oh, that's not an inner conscience. That's just the voice of reason.
Absolutely, that's absolutely right.
All right, there it went. Middle West. Oh my God! Stop this.
I have got to stop joining all these whiskey groups, and people, they see us, and it's like once or twice a week now, I'm getting invited to these new whiskey and bourbon groups, and it's like, well, yes, I'll join. Yes, I'll join. But then when it comes time to share, it's like, oh my gosh.
Hey, Leland, I saw your comment. Leland, you said you haven't tried Stag, so just let me know sometime when you're around and stop over and you can try some Stag.
I love Leland. Yeah. Throw that out there.
Yeah,
to Leland.
Leland's a great guy.
Yep.
I've sent him samples many a times, and yeah, love to share with Leland.
Hey, my son's watching. What are we drinking tonight? He asked. We are drinking Stag, my friend.
Oh,
and I owe him a couple Daltons that I got to send up with him, and I've just been so busy between. But I'll get that out this week, Seth, because I definitely will get those Daltons out to you tonight or coming up, because I now this weekend finally is the World 13 State Tour is over finally. Between going to, I was in 13 states last month.
My voice of reason.
There she is.
There she is.
There she is. Hey,
hi, Reason.
I am to the end, so I am ready.
You're just tempting me, Nash. But I will back off from I will back off from making any comments.
Oh, why do that now? I hope nothing back from her.
Because right now we're live, and
okay.
I'm not getting you in any more trouble than you get in by yourself.
We're live. I was just stating what Jeff said. Tiny said.
Tiny says, yes. Are you guys ready to go? Are we shared up and everything ready to go?
Cheers, Randy. Cheers, Chris Ray. Leland. Cheers, my brother.
Yep. Cheers, everybody.
All right. Yeah. So, let's just quick go through the sponsors, and I'll just put them all right up here. We've got Middle West Spirits in Columbus. We've got Whiskey Thief Distilling in Frankfurt and Louisville, and we got the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana. our main sponsors. Then there's Rosewood Bourbons and Rye, along with our sponsor of our barrel bottle breakdown. So the Old Louisville Whiskey Company. But all four of our sponsors are fantastic. The way we do our sponsors is we like their whiskey, and then we hang out with them a lot and then ask them to sponsor the podcast. It's not that they come to us. We pick out our sponsors because this is a fantastic lineup of bourbon and whiskey. We've got Middle West Spirits down there with their big, giant, brand new distillery with their, can't wait for them to put in their experience that's going in. It's going to be big. We've got Whiskey Thief with 2 locations now, a barrel pick all day, every day with fantastic people. A great experience. And you got to check them out. Plus,
from the barrel.
The Spirit of French Lick is still moving Alan Bishop's spirits, and you can't go wrong. Some of the best pot still whiskey in the country. And then you have Old Louisville Whiskey Company. Amin down there, he is a barrel scientist. He's like a blending scientist master. I think that out of all the people that I've been around, as far as when you're blending different whiskeys, the only person I think I've met is Macaulay, who does it a little bit. They're both very unique, but they're just putting out such fantastic whiskeys. So there's our sponsors for everybody on YouTube and Facebook. I think that's a little bit better way to do it, wouldn't you? Put them all out there at once. And then put them back up, and
that gives everybody a visual. Instead of us just saying the names and all, now that gives them a visual of what bottles to look for on the shelves, or to places to look for when they go down to Kentucky. The bottles they actually need to be looking for.
Well, Whiskey Thief, you're going to get out of the distillery because it's single barrels, and mostly that's the place to get. But they are starting to venture out to a few stores in Kentucky around them in that area. But then you've got Middle West Spirits in 48 states, and then the Spirit of French Lick in that area of Indiana, Kentucky, that you can pull it off the state also. All right. So anyways, we'll get this going. There'll be a 30-second pause to play the ad, and then you'll hear our theme song, and we are on our way. So let's get it going, guys.
All right.
Taking birds, sipping on some scotch. We give it a while, but it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every brew. And it's all sunshine, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Raising the hill, making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We're here to have fun and we go and enjoy. We're here to have fun.
All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tonight we've got Super Nash.
Woo! Yeah.
We've got CT
Everybody.
and myself, Tiny. Kind of like pumped up for this podcast. I think it's kind of like that this time of year leading up to this, it's finally spring, and we're all getting ready. Although I think the state of Ohio did a really good job of releasing some good stuff and out there, and you're able to get some stuff. They had a couple kind of things that got us through, but it's still a lot different, as far as getting through the winter. And we're finally getting to some weather that might be a little bit warmer. And I just feel like I got a little bit more energy than what I normally have, and kind of excited about like this podcast. And a couple of the podcasts, well, I wasn't feeling good. Plus, I've been traveling 13 states in the month of in the last month. So between Florida, I've been to Tennessee, Lynchburg, Tennessee, Jack Daniels. We've been to Maker's Mark for the podcast, and then we've been to I was to Whiskey Thief, and then also I just went to New York. So I was in for my aunt's 100th birthday. I think that's the first time I was around somebody legitimately talking to them that was 100 years old. I know Randy. Did you see Randy Prass had his hat made in New Orleans at that hat place and the owner was 101 years old, and he just happened to be in on a Friday. Did you see that, CP?
I did. That was so cool.
Yeah, that was. And so he's going to be driving his Lincoln that he had, his dad's Lincoln that he had restored in Wisconsin, and he got one of those hats that looks like he's going to go to the either he's a sports reporter or he's going to the horse races or the dog, to or betting on sports or whatever. He's got that little hat that he's going to drive when he drives the Lincoln to Kentucky. So that was kind of cool. And he's planning on using it for the Kentucky Derby. And it's just like, but the owner was 101 years old. I mean, and he was standing next to Randy and looked coherent. He looked like maybe a 75, 80, like maybe an 80-year-old person. He didn't have that kind of like he was, on his last leg. He was there. So that was kind of cool. All right. So remember www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We've got our Glen Cairns that are available, plus our T-shirts. And you probably, if you asked me, CT could probably get you a hat. There's no doubt. But, check it out. Ask us. That's the thing. Plus, remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, along with all the major podcast formats, Apple, iHeart, Instagram, Spotify. And then remember, no matter whether you listen or watch us, that you should like, comment, subscribe, and leave good feedback. So there we go. We got that. So who's excited about tonight with the Stag, this particular Stag?
Damn.
I think this is, in my opinion, the perfect man's bourbon. Like it's just perfect. It's barrel proof, and it's got some power to it. They were saying between, I thought, was it 7 to 9 years? It's where it's at.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you're just starting out, I would say that this particular bourbon is like something. This is somewhat obtainable. It's not like it's parent George T. Stag. It's not. That's a once a year release, and it's very limited. This is a twice a year release, or even sometimes more, right?
Actually, sometimes up to 4 times, because as CT just told us earlier, he's got the D, right?
Yeah, this is D, but I've got some C batches.
Yeah, I've got
so
the B. B and C. I've had an A, but it's been depleted. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had a D batch before.
Well, what I've got
That's one thing this year. It's been easier I shouldn't say easier, but there has been more of it going around. I feel like.
Yeah, I've seen it in a lot more places this year than I ever have before.
Well, I say so too, because and the same thing with most Buffalo Trace products here in Ohio. It seems like instead of 6 when you're waiting in line, there's 12, and in some cases there's even more than that. There's more maybe 3 or 4 cases on the release now. So it's becoming more available, which is a very good thing for all of us. When you're looking at MSRP, this is about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's in the $59.99, isn't it? Or was it? Yeah, it was
about $60, right?
Yeah,
it's $59 to $79. Depends on where you get it.
yeah. But I mean, decent price. You look online right now, it's
a great price.
It's $200 to $400 online. If you're looking to pull it off a line, you can get it, but they're asking $200 to $400, and about 3/4 of the places that are asking that, they're sold out. They don't always have it, but this is a very what would you say, readily breaking up on the YouTube. All right, Mansburg. I don't know why I'm breaking up on the YouTube tonight, but the sound, let's see if it's just this causing a problem. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'll try that. Really kind of like I said, my first bottle I ever had, Super Nash gave it to me for Christmas. And I mean, I drank it. I saved that bottle and took it to a Packer game and only drank it after a Packer victory. So now I take my bottle of Stag, and if we're going to win, I'll share it. I believe I took my other bottle of Stag that I had gotten, which I believe was a C from 2023. And I was up there and they won, and I was drinking it with the guy up there, and he never saw Buffalo Trace products, and he had a nice bourbon collection. So I left about half the bottle with him, because I have bottles of Stag, and you share it,
I remember that game, and remember your post when you did that, and that was so cool.
And do you remember my post Christmas morning?
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah,
that was so cool that, and that's what whiskey and bourbon and the whole community, since I began to actually learn it and know the people in it, is sharing the whiskey and the stories behind it, and the I don't know what am I trying to say here, CT, the camaraderie.
Yes, yeah, the fellowships and
yeah, that you get with it, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
that's what it became.
Well, and I think we've all seen, we travel a lot, and there's so many different things out there to try. I mean, you come to Ohio, some people haven't tried, a brand like Middle West, and you like to be able to have them try it, to see it. You go to Tennessee, and I'm sure there's some things down there that we don't get up here that you want to try. So it's just the whole bourbon whiskey community. But Stag this year has definitely been something that you've seen a lot on social media. There's been a lot about it, because I think that 24D batch, whether there was just more of it, I don't know, but it's definitely been more available than some of them in the past in Ohio and Kentucky.
Yeah, I completely agree. You can start to sense the news lightening up. You know what I mean? That restriction of not having enough bottles, and the frustration. It's one thing to go, and wait in line with everybody. And honestly, and Adam Roberts says Stag's his personal favorite.
What I was just reading.
And but it's one thing to go in line with everybody, but it's nice when you go in line and everybody gets some. You know what I mean? Let's say there's 24 people that were whatever, or 30 whatever, and if everybody gets some, I mean, that's where you got you basically feel it sucks when you wait in line and only 3 people get something that you want, or 6 people. So now you feel like everybody's able to get something that's decent. Like I said, that last Ohio drop, I got in line at 5 to 6 because I had a chiropractor that I had to go to, and I got out at 5:30, drove over, and I was in line at 5 to 6, and I walked out with an Elmer T. Lee. So the fact that there was so much Weller, and I could have went back in line and got a Weller 12. You know, it's like there was so much of everything that everybody can get what they want. And when everybody's getting what they want, I mean, that makes this even so much more fun. You know, it's still not going on the shelf itself where you just walk in and get it. You still got to wait in line, but at least when you wait in line, you get it, right?
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. It's like the one time that I went to a bourbon raffle at a store this year, it's like there was a line of like 60 or 70 people, and we all went through the line, and after they did the drawing, and everybody got what they wanted after they drew their number, and then some of them left and all that. But then all of a sudden they said, well, we'll draw again. So they did a second drawing. Then they did a third drawing. Then after the third drawing, there were still a lot of bottles left. And the people that were left, they were like, well, just get in line, come back in and get what you want. And it was like, we just grabbed 2 or 3 bottles of what we wanted, and then there were still bottles left.
Well,
So, and I found that to be the same with a lot of the lotteries, the store lotteries, which that happens in the uncontrolled states. It doesn't happen so much, I guess, in the controlled states like where you guys live, but in the uncontrolled states, when they do the lotteries like that, it's happened a lot this past year, and I saw it, and it was just amazing.
Now my question is, are they changing the way that they're making it? Are they putting it out younger? You know, that's the question, because I do know that I was talking to Matt Maher, and he was talking in line, and he was talking about some of the stuff and how they're putting out more, but they're also putting it out younger. Now I don't know. That's the first time I ever heard that, but he usually has a pretty good inside aspect to that, and so go ahead.
I do know that when the juniors were out, when that was a thing more, a few years ago, it seemed like they only talked about 8, 9 year. Now they've extended it to 7 through 9. So
Right.
maybe there is some truth to that.
There is some truth to that, and I actually read a little bit of history. When they dropped the junior, they actually, in the first year, they actually entered the batch into the 5-year category in one of the competitions, which suggested that they had some 5-year-olds added into the batch. And then I also found out, further reading, that the batches, when they dropped the junior and just became Stag, the first couple of years, that it dropped down to ages 6 to 8 years. All right. So, but now, since then, the batches have came up, and the batches have actually risen back up to the 8 to 9 year old bourbon.
Well, so,
but yeah, those first couple of years when they dropped the junior, it did drop down a little bit.
Well, and then I think this is only the 3rd year they've done it, right? I mean, this year I think the junior was there, and then you got this
23 and 24. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And now it's 25 for 3. Yeah. So, but what I'll say is, that's just like with Knob Creek. At one point, they had to lose the age statement because they had to add some 7 and 8 year instead of the 9 year. And then, but they had been made, as they had made more, they're gearing these up and they've been making more at the distilleries. They're able to meet the demand back with the right amount. That 7 year, 2 years later is now a 9 year, right? So that's what we're looking at there. So that's pretty cool. Now, Whiskey Thief Distilling, I think that might be Walter. I'm not sure who's asking, but there he asked if we could pick him up a couple bottles. And yeah, Walter, when they release it, if you're looking for that, or whoever's at Whiskey Thief Distilling, I can try and get one for you, because that's one of the ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have had enough Stag in my life, and it is just like, between drinking Booker's and Stag, when there's only so much barrel proof whiskeys that it's that you can drink. You like to drink the other lower proof sometime, just to give your liver a rest.
And absolutely, that's another thing too. Everybody knows that's one thing that I love to do. I always love to help procure bottles for people that can't get them.
I mean,
when I'm traveling so much and go to so many places, and there's a lot of times that I'll pass up bottles that I see out there to allow other people to get them, because I've got them and I've got so many other backups and things like that. But if I know somebody's looking for them, I'm glad to be able to pick up a bottle for them.
Well, this is unique what I got going tonight, because I have the last batch of Stagg Jr. here, and it is at 130.9 proof. And I've got now, thanks to you, Super Nash, on my birthday, which I just opened, I've got the first batch of Stag. So these are the back-to-back batches, and I wanted to compare the two to see if, when they dropped it, did they maintain the quality. And we talked about it, just because it's a little bit younger.
Hey, Jeff, did you say that one you got's 130.2 proof?
No, 130. This one's 130.9, and this one is 131.
Okay.
130.9 and 131. So
I've got the 24B, which is 127.8, and I've got the 24C, which is 125.9. And a little bit to touch on what you were talking about, I've read a couple of different reviews on the batches coming out in 23 when they dropped the junior. And a couple of the reviews that I had read, they were saying, and I don't want to mention their names or anything, but some of the reviews that I read were saying that it was lacking a little bit in 23, was lacking a little bit from what the Stag Jr. was in far as the tasting and the aromas that you were getting. And I'm kind of wondering if it's because they were trying to put out more and putting a little bit younger bourbon in there, if that might be the cause.
All I could say is that when you're dealing at 130 proof, it's hard. I think you could produce a batch, and if you had to taste it blind, it would be tough, even with some younger bourbon in there. Just my opinion. And Walter, in response to no drinking lower proof, I will say, because Whiskey Thief Distilling is our sponsor, and they only do uncut, unfiltered, straight from the barrel. Yeah. I will say that the reason why I drink less Stag is because I drink a lot more Whiskey Thief.
There you go.
There you go. So there we go. What was Walker saying? What place are you talking about there, CT?
Oh, I said Walter. Walter said that Kentucky is the toughest place to find bourbon, and I said I know a place.
It's the toughest place to find. It is hard to find bourbon on the shelf.
Yeah,
but you got to go to the distilleries, and you can get a lot of bourbon. if you go
If
right
you
to
want to
yeah.
go to drink and taste it, there are a couple of nice places to go in Kentucky and close to Walter too.
Yeah, there's some great liquor stores that you can do tastings at. Things that we don't have quite the opportunity here.
So,
Yeah.
so
Also, too, a couple of restaurants that usually procure a lot of different bottles and usually have several different bottles of of years on the shelf that you can go and taste,
so
which always found and love to go to.
so Gage Spence asked the general question on YouTube: is Stag worth a damn or not?
Yes, it's definitely
Yes.
worth it.
Oh
Damn,
my
it's
God.
good.
Yeah.
And I'll make this point real quick about it because Randy said this in an earlier message on the Facebook chat. For $59.99 in the state of Ohio, it is cheaper than Blanton's. It is probably one of the best value bottles for what it is in the state of Ohio. Now, if you're paying secondary and you're paying $150 to $200, that's up to you. But I do think that they are very good bottles. The juice is good. I just drank my first drink of 24D just now, and it's delicious. So I'm stoked. I can't wait to get into that bottle more.
Well, you could do it
If you
tonight.
got the B out there.
So
I'm telling you what, this is a absolute cherry bomb.
Okay.
It is.
So
the Nellers and the cherries come out, but you also get that nice barrel char and you get a nice oaky flavor to it, but it's not overpowering. It's not like it's been in the barrel too long.
That's what's unusual, these high proofs is it, like you said, it's not overpowering.
right, and these two are at 130. So 130.9 and 131. I mean, they're 0.1 off. And I'm telling you, I can tell by the nose, but they are really close. But so I'll give a little history of the Stag brand from Breaking Bourbon. Stag Jr. was first announced in 2013, and with its junior designation, it was expected to be a more widely available version of its counterpart, released annually as part of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, George T. Stagg. Initially, some commented that it seemed closer to a barrel-proof version of Buffalo Trace bourbon than the original George T. Stagg. Yet it quickly gained the attention of enthusiasts as it capitalized on the growing popularity of the Stag name and barrel-proof bourbons in general. In 2021, Buffalo Trace announced that Batch 18 would be the first batch to lose Junior from its name and simply be called Stag. Stag is released twice a year in waves that can be spread out for a few months with a release date that corresponds to a season rather than a month. The bourbon age is believed to hover between 7 to 9 years old. We awarded Stag Jr. Batch 12 the best whiskey of 2019. Now this is the
this is 12 right here.
Okay, but this is the summer 2024 release review. So they were saying only 2 batches, but you're doing A, B, C, and D in some cases. So is it just A and B is just A, B on one batch and then C, D on another batch, or is it 4 separate batches, do you think? Or does the proof change on all of them?
22, there were 2 batches, A and B. In 23, there were 3 batches. 24, 4 batches. And in 25, we don't know yet.
But we're thinking it might be 5 batches. That's what someone said. I saw that.
Could be 12.
Why would it be? Why would there be 12 batches in 20?
I'm with Tiny. If they're going by the years, and maybe sort of if that's what their play on this, I'm hoping it is. But we haven't seen the 25. If they're going to do 5 batches, they're going to be releasing pretty quick because we hadn't seen the 25A yet.
No, they're not going to do. They're going to.
So
it's going to go back to 3 or 4.
It's pretty hard to be doing 5 batches.
So who's got the current batch right now? Has there been a 25A yet?
No.
I haven't seen it.
So the
I have not
24D is what you got right there, CT,
And
right?
that's the last batch that's released.
That is the current one.
Yeah.
Like I just got this bottle, so I would think that if you went out and you found one, luckily that was a drop, that's the bottle you're getting.
Yeah, and I was reading from somebody else. There was so much confusion and all, and so much released within the last couple of months of 24 that there was a lot of people. I mean, there was a bunch of stuff released.
Oh yeah.
But you know,
I mean, it was just like
Buffalo Trace's website, right, hasn't
Yeah.
been updated on their batches since summer of 2021.
no.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
looking.
they're way behind. They're way behind on that. So I was even looking for that for trying to get information for tonight.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was going to a few groups and other reviewers looking for information, and one of the reviewers was saying that they was just so much released that they actually had reviewed the 24C before they got in Christmas, before they actually got hold of the 24B in January, because it was just the way things were dumped out and released at the end of the year.
So
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's complaining if they, like I said, if you waited in line in Ohio, especially, and you got a batch of whatever, if it was in a Stag bottle and it was $59.99, you were probably pretty excited because, again, for a drinker, I'm not saying for a flipper because flippers are always looking for different things, but for a drinker, I don't know how you go wrong at that price point for something that's that. Because here's another point. So
Something
Benchmark shares the same mash bill number 1, and obviously Benchmark 8 not even comparable, but this is foolproof at 125 proof. And while this is a bottle that people are like, hey, $25 to $29, it's a good bottle. The cherry and vanilla note is hardly even noticeable in that compared to a Stag. So, while people will tell you, oh yeah, if you can't find Stag, go get a Benchmark foolproof, it's not the same.
Well, but Taylor is the same as Benchmark, okay? So
yeah, they're all mash bill
1. So Taylor's the next step up before Stag. So a Taylor barrel proof would be, but they seem to, that is a more, in my opinion, Stag pulls out either cherry or brown sugar a lot of the times. And what happens Taylor usually pulls out a little bit more of the tobacco leathery notes along with some sweetness of caramel. You know what I mean? So even though they're the same mash bills, they're picking the different areas. But what I will say about Stag, though, when you take it up to where it's at, and these batches, I think out of everything that I drink from Buffalo Trace, that the Stag, this brand is the one that stays consistent the most batch to batch. Like that brown sugar note is almost always there. Now, sometimes you'll get a cherry one if they drop the proof a little bit. But if you're on the higher proof ones, like these two, it's just like there's a little bit of cherry, there's brown sugar, there's caramel. It's just such a wonderful nose. And then I'll sniff, you go to this one, and it's very, very, very similar. I mean, this is, like they're batch to batch. They don't change that much. They stay on their profile. Where some of the other stuff seems like no matter what you're drinking, it always seems like there's some different versions of the profile. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I agree on that. And hey, just to let you guys know on a little secret, CT, you know how you're always doing these experiments with the barrels and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Well, my experiment for this year and to be released at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, to us and some people that attend the festival, I've got a bad motivator 2.5 gallon barrel that I am filling with the benchmark foolproof.
Nice.
And I'm going to age it. I've just been waiting for the weather here to start getting warm enough for it to start aging good. And I will be filling it within the next 2 weekends before I go to Mexico.
Very nice.
So, and
I have a bad motivator barrel I will also be bringing. Mine is the rum barrel.
Oh, cool. And so, like I said, so look forward to that. And also, just a shout out for everybody, Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Tickets are going to be going on sale pretty soon.
The pre-sales April 16th, and the regular sale is April 17th. Yeah, the last podcast that I did by myself, I covered that.
Okay.
Reminded people that everybody was watching that one.
I'm sorry, but I had to give it. I have to give a shout out when I can.
I'm working on getting Randy on to promote it. I gave him first shot at our thing, and then we're going to be having Martin Kennedy from Bua on remotely in the next month from Ireland. Once I can get my hands, he thinks that they're going to release up here the stout aged Irish whiskey, the stout finished Irish whiskey up here to Cleveland and Akron and Canton in the next couple weeks. So once I have it, he wants to come on from Ireland. And then I'm also working on another Gervasi podcast, because the podcast that we did from Gervasi with Shay, for whatever reason, had a huge popularity compared to all of our other podcasts. So we'll probably be doing that. And I've joined their distillers club. They have a distillers club where he's walking. I had to miss the first one because I was out of town at Maker's Mark. That's when we were all at Maker's Mark. But I picked up my bottle, and it's really exciting because this is the first ever single barrel release of bourbon from Gervasi, and it is fantastic, guys. I mean, what's really cool is look at the difference. I mean, it's kind of cool, right? The bottles are it's kind of got a similarity, right?
Yeah, it does.
Anyways.
Hey, I wanted to ask CT, what 2 batches do you have there? A couple questions about it.
24D is this bottle.
Yeah.
And this is batch 12 of Stag Jr.
Have you got pours of both of those?
Oh, yeah.
24D and 24B, right?
Well, not 24B. It's Junior. This is Junior.
Okay, Junior.
Batch 12.
Batch 12. Okay.
Which was the one that Jeff read off that they picked as the best batch, whatever.
Yeah, it was. That was the best batch of that year.
What's funny is every bottle of Stag that I have has come from Kentucky. I've never got one in Ohio.
Okay. Oh, that's cool too.
I have obtained 2 bottles in Ohio, but I could have gotten 4 to 6 just because when it was available to get. Actually, the one time I went for barrel proof, I was hoping for Taylor barrel proof, and I was fourth in line, and there was only 3 barrel proofs. I got a Stag Jr on my own. I picked up another Stag Jr. And the last 2 years, I had shots at 2 more Stag Juniors, and I passed up for other stuff. And I will tell you, it was an honor to get this bottle from you. And because I got this bottle from you, I passed up this year's, the recent release since then. So that, so now that Walter wanted me to pick him up one, I'm sure I'm going to have a shot, because it always seems like Stag Jr. is being released with 4 different things. And that's one of the defaults.
Yeah. And
did Walter just say
I passed him up in North Carolina because North Carolina is an uncontrolled state.
Who's he blaming?
I'm guessing me.
For what?
Because I got all mine in Kentucky.
He blames you for stealing it. All right. So
he just got a cinnamon finish after a cherry palate.
Hey, I got to tell you, when I got this last one though, I walked into my one of my stores in Kentucky, and they were like, "Well, you picked a good day to come in." And I said, "Oh yeah." They said, "Yeah, we just got this and this," and it was one of the bottles. So that was a good day. I didn't wait in line a minute. I walked right in and took it and bought that bottle and another couple of bottles and left.
yeah, I mean, honestly, anybody who's hunting, you're gonna hit a stag here or there. There's always been just a little bit more of it than other stuff. It's almost like, in my opinion, of getting a Taylor small batch. And it's funny because if you remember, I was buying Taylor small batch before the bourbon boom, when I was just drinking bourbon, and I love Taylor small batch, and then Baker's 7 was two of my favorites that I was able to get off the shelf. And then it was 5 years before I was able to get another small batch, and it was Super Nash who came up here. And basically, the first year that we were podcasting, he came up and he showed me what to do to get the small batch and how you go about hunting, because I had no idea. I do now.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you've taken it to a whole nother level.
I mean,
in which this podcast allows us a whole lot more, and me too. When go to these lotteries and these lines and stuff like that, it's not just standing in line for a bottle of whiskey. It's the people that I meet and talk to, the different groups that they belong to, and all. And then it's like, oh my gosh, oh you're a whiskey podcaster and all this. Yeah, I do this.
So
oh good, you think about this and all this, and then it's like I'm passing out cards and I'm meeting people from all over the place, and it's just so much fun. So it's this podcast has allowed me to take my whiskey hunting to a whole nother level.
Yeah. I find, like I said, it's been something. Now, there's other bourbons but this is the one I feel I've been the luckiest on, and I just love. But I mean, when it comes to this, it's 130 proof, and it drinks from the standpoint of not the palate, but the hug, as if it's 130 going down. This is a definite cold weather bourbon. You got to admit, it warms you from the inside, no matter which batch you're drinking. So I'm going to compare this real quick. I'm going to do it. I'm going to sip and compare the last and the first, where they had the junior and then they dropped it. So I'm going to give them two comparisons and let everybody know if I can tell. After palate shock the first time, and I'm telling you, when you're drinking, wow. Do you remember, CT, when we were driving up to Galena and we were doing the nose kit, the aroma kit? We couldn't figure out the one flavor.
Cherry.
Yeah. So now every single time I taste that, I think of our road trip, because I still can smell that flavor, not knowing what it was until they said cherry. And now I taste it anytime. Now the last Stag Jr. definitely has a cherry. It's all brown sugar front palate, then cherry as it goes to the back. And this one gets like a sweet tart on the finish. I'm trying to think if it's still a cherry sweet tart. Does anybody else have that last batch of Junior?
I don't have that, but as I'm getting through these a little bit, comparing a Stag and a Stag Jr. What's funny is the cherry, the depth, almost a little bit of a chocolatey cherry, is in that 24D, and that batch 12 has a lighter brown sugar flavor that's a little stronger for me than what the new batch does. But they're both very good, both great noses, and they're not. When you smell them, these two are not like, oh my gosh, they're the same. They smell this. They definitely have a different nose.
Well,
But
these two, which are back-to-back batches, which the last batch of Junior was 18, right? Am I right? What was the last batch of Junior? With
18.
What? 18, right?
2018, yeah.
So then this one is the first batch of Junior without the Junior. When was that? 21?
19.
No.
Nope. No.
It's 21 and 20. 20. It might be 21 and 22. Because I remember buying this one, which was the first one, and that's just not that long ago. And this was
No, go ahead.
So I put it this way. Okay, so I like that one. So now I'm gonna hit the other one.
Look, let me look at something here.
Wow. Actually, the first batch of Stag is better than the other one. That has way more brown sugar, a little bit of cherry, but there's no tartness on the back. It's way sweeter. Also, let's see what's the sweetness.
What's up, JD? Hope you're doing good, man.
Ooh. Thank you, Nash. This batch right here is fantastic. It kind of takes woo. I am definitely warmed up, that's for sure. Oh. But it's so rich, and it's so the viscosity and what's happening. Let's see how it rolls around in the glass. I'll roll it around here, let it go around, pull her up. Look what it does. Let's see what it does for legs. Yeah, it just sticks there. And this is such a strong, barrel proof whiskey. I think I got them. Did I put them up? No, right here. And I love the bottle. Barrel proof and unfiltered. Here's what George T. Stagg was born in Kentucky on December 19th, 1835. We should be celebrating that day. Stagg built the most dominant American distillery in the 19th century on the banks of the Kentucky River during a time known as the Golden Age of Bourbon. The distillery survived floods, fires, droughts, and even prohibition when it made whiskey for medical purposes. Today, Buffalo Trace Distillery strives to carry on the tradition of its famous forefather, uncut and unfiltered, like the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and Whiskey Thief Distilling. This company, this robust bourbon whiskey ages for nearly a decade and boasts the bold character that is reminiscent of the man himself. So does it say that too? Ages for nearly a decade. Both bottles say that exact same thing. So it's got to be close to some of the 9 years still in it, right? Because they said nearly a decade. Yes. The first non-junior is 131 proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was batch 17. No, actually, it was batch 18. Batch 17 was the last for the junior, which was 128.7 proof.
What's the 130.9?
was batch 16, summer of 21.
Okay.
So you were right before the last batch.
So I got 16 and
You got batch 16, 130.9 proof.
and 18. All right. Well, I'm telling you, they're close, but
Batch 18, winter of 2022, was 131 proof. That was the first batch that was officially without the junior.
and I got that. I purchased that batch, and you gave it to me for Christmas. I walked away. I remember pulling that away from that. So
I've got a list of all the batches, all the way to batch 1, right here in front of me right now.
because I must have
I
had
just looked
that.
it up because I had to know myself.
Well, it's good. It's good that we put that out. It's good that we put that out.
It
So
was batch 17, the last release to have junior included, and it was winter of 2021 at 128.7 proof.
has anybody got that one?
What was the batch? What was the proof?
Yeah, the batch 17, 128.7 proof. And that would have the last junior on it.
Now, mine's a 130.2, the other junior I have.
130.2, you have a batch 23. No, it's a batch 14.
Okay, I have 12 and 14 then
Yeah.
of junior.
Yeah, that's batch 14. Spring of 2020.
So
Mm.
I'm
Right, so
gonna
now we get to compare it against the big boy.
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm actually drinking a this is a 2024 130.4 proof George T. Stag.
Martin, how in the heck do you tell what year they are?
And it's you go by the batch. But I just know when I got this bottle.
So this is a 135 proof, the one that you gifted me. So what is that?
The 135. Let me look that up.
Ooh,
Let's compare.
I
I
gave that. So here's what the one you gave me initially, Nash.
Yeah.
Is
I remember I gave you your first bottle of that too.
and that was 132.3.
I'll tell you in just a second.
Because that's on the mantle. I put that bottle up there.
The crazy thing is this one, when you compare it with the regular Stags,
Okay.
that's
What was yours, CT?
135.
135. Yours is I believe it's a 23. It's because this list it goes up to 22. And I'm thinking yours is a 23. Right, Jeff, what was yours?
A 132 something.
That 24D nose is insane.
Let me look at another.
24D has got it going on.
I'm loving the 24B.
So you gave me a 130. You gave me a 132.3, which would be batch 6 in spring of. Nope. That 132.3 was batch 12 from. That's your batch from 2019. Batch 12.
Yeah, hey, CT, yours is 135, right?
Yep.
Yours is a 15-year age, 135 proof, 2023. Jeff, what was yours?
Mine was 2019 batch 12, and that's the same batch that CT has right there.
Yours is 116.9, 15-year, right?
No, what the 2019 was 132.3. 132.3, yeah. 2019.
I have that on here.
Well, I've got it on the the Buffalo Trace website. Batch. No, okay, hold on. 132.3, batch 12, summer of 2019. 132.3 is what you gave me initially for that Christmas present.
You're looking at Stag Jr, Jeff.
I am looking at
Stag Jr.
Yeah, it is, because that's the bottle right here. That's 132.3 batch 12. That's Junior.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
No, we're talking about George T.
We're talking about George T. Stag.
Oh, remember you want to know what my George? Let's see.
The George T. Stag that I gave you.
Well, I got to go find that false fill. Oh my God! Let's see. I think it's in the. I might have even. I'll have to look. Hold on.
I'm actually drinking on a 2020 130.4 George T. Stag is what I've got open.
I'll tell you, Nash, you gotta get a 24D. The 24D, in my opinion, is better than the George T. Stag.
Wow.
The flavor is just wow. I mean, nose, it beats it. It is so stinking sweet and just oh.
Well, here's mine.
Yeah,
you should know which one you gave me because you gave me that special low proof bottle, if you remember, Super Nash, for Christmas.
Yeah.
It was 116.9.
Right?
Yep, there it is.
2019.
Look at that color.
Oh my God. Yeah, I gave you the 2019 bottle.
Your guys are super dark. That would be, I mean, honestly, looking at that should tell you something right there.
Is it Canadian whiskey?
No, I put in it's Jim Beam Double Oak.
Double Oak. I know you emptied that bottle.
Don't be trying to re-get that this Christmas.
Yeah.
I'll be paying attention to that.
Oh my God. It tastes so much like Beam. It's just like my kids are gonna be like, holy shit, he's got I'm gonna be dead. No,
You're a flipper, aren't you? You're a flipper, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Refilling bottles.
I gotta remember why I did it. It was because I wanted to do a pour video from the Stag. So I just filled it up with whatever and used the bottle because I didn't have it.
Oh my gosh. So you've got a fake video out there. Please, everybody, disregard that.
That is not a fake. It's not a fake video. It's
look at the color.
It's so funny, isn't it? Like
yeah. We're both laughing.
I think
literally
wait.
It's like apple juice.
I gotta add some coffee in there.
Hey, that's what a real George T. Stag looks like.
Yeah, no kidding. It's up against the Stag. I mean, look, it's
look at CT's.
I know.
That's right.
There's no doubt it wasn't there as far as
that's what Super Nash does for you.
That's a fact, Nash. Thank you so much.
Hey, I love you guys.
Yeah, that is the bottle. The George T. Stag's a whole nother level of finding that bottle because pretty much got to be entered into some kind of drawing or you're not walking in and
I've seen that's bull. That's bull.
Yeah,
out of all the ones out there, I always can see the George T. Stag. I understand you got to pay a decent amount for it, but I've seen it. Okay. But the one that I've never seen,
like I do, CT, he didn't. I hadn't had a chance to tell you. I told him, but I'd been entered in lottery at Helen Cellars, right? So like about 5 or 6 weeks ago, Jeff, I got a call from him.
Right?
No,
about 2 or 3
weeks ago.
No,
yeah.
right before the
It was in
right
February.
before Maker's Mark, like the week before we went to Maker's
Yeah,
Mark.
the week before Maker's Mark. So I get a call from him on Saturday. I'm out in my shop working. I just happened to come into the house, had my phone out there jamming. I come back out and I see this 404 number from Helen, Georgia. I said, oh my God. I called him back immediately. I said, hey, this is Martin Nash. I said, are you calling me about the lottery? He said, yeah, we pulled your number. So guess what? You won a George T. Stag.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So yeah, I went up 3 days later, and so I've got this year's George T. Stag, or 2024 George T. Stag, sitting in my closet in there.
Yeah, and just so you know, Walker, it
At
wasn't
the same time, they had a few bottles left. That's where I got this Stag C. Because I had the B, but I didn't have the C. So I said, and they said, was there anything else you want that's left over here? I said, well, what about that Stag? Yeah, I'll take it too. But yeah, so that's like my 4th bottle of George T. Stag that I won in the lotteries.
Well, and I've seen and known people that have won George T. I think, honestly, in the lottery just this year, Whiskey won a bottle of George T. Stag.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, so the George T. Stag but the one bottle that doesn't get, I rarely see is this.
Abundant this year.
This one is not the abundant one, right?
Oh my gosh.
This is the one.
That's what I asked. That's what I asked him for. But all the antique collection except for the George T. Stag was gone, and all the Pappies were gone because I wanted the Pappy 15.
I swear to God,
George T. Stag was left. And
I would take this over Pappy 15.
Oh yeah.
William LaRue Weller. That's, I think, one of my favorite of all time. But just so you know, Walker, I'm going to throw this out here. It wasn't a fake pour. I was doing a video of Stag and George T. Stag and all the bottles I had, and I was pouring it in a glass just for view, not for people to drink. Oh my gosh.
I love it. I love that he's giving.
Hey, Dario. What? That he's giving me crap for this?
Yeah. You filled a bottle with apple juice.
It's not apple juice. It's bean.
Yes, Walker. I am healed up.
What did you say?
Walker says you look healed up. Or
yeah, he's asking how he was feeling.
You were healed up.
Oh, healed up.
Hey,
is Walker healed up now? The question.
Foundation and
yeah. How about your ankle, Walker?
Okay. So let's get back to the Stag. So
yes,
the whole premise of this is having the Stag Jr. and then the first batch of Stag. Did they sacrifice anything when they changed it? Did they change anything that? And I'm going to say, based off these two,
you've got Junior too, right? CT.
Yeah.
I think.
What do you think between the two that you're drinking?
But again, mine are very different in the fact that the Junior that I have has what I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to talk.
He likes his Junior.
Cheers, Dario.
But Junior to me has a little more brown sugar. I feel like 24D brought in just a super good cherry note that I'm digging, and the more I drink a 24D, which would be the newest batch, if they're going backwards, I want to taste the forward, because these things, that 24D is amazing.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going backwards. I actually think
I don't think they're going backwards.
I think even in the 24D, I think they're starting to get some more age back in it, and that's just a thing like Knob Creek. All I could say is these are 0.1% proof off as far as proof. And they got a consistency, there's no doubt. But I would say the brown sugar on the Stag, that first batch of Stag, was really good. The cherry was across the board on both of them. But I'm going to say, no, they didn't lose anything. It's still there. And, that's something to say, because everything that you drink today, because of the fact that there's not the consistency isn't as important as it was even in 2019. Either they're making it better or it's still not, whatever. And sometimes even some of the stuff you have, it's not as good. You get a really good batch and then it takes a while to get it back.
Yeah, I gotta stand by it. Like I say, I think they take pride in what they're doing with the Stag, because it's shows a reflection on the George T. Stag, because it's got the name. And I believe the taste panel, when they're pulling these batches and putting these batches together, that they've got that profile that's always been there. And they work so hard for it to stay there. And what they do for the price point, you cannot beat it. Like we've said time and time, like we said at the beginning, CT, and you too, Jeff, Tiny, you can't beat it. I think, like I said, they're doing a great job, and I think they're going to continue to step it up, because that's what they want the name to be.
I mean, Walter, we're talking about, he just said Stag is the best ever. How does Buffalo Trace do it? The North Star, period. And I think it's, honestly, George T. Stag is, did you guys compare it? Did you pour some George T. Stag and it's a different? I think think George T. Stag in itself is a little bit, it doesn't have the masculinity of the Stag. From everything, it's George T. Stag is like almost there to be easier. And Stag has that bite and that thing that you want in a whiskey and a bourbon that you're going to drink. And as he said, it's the North Star. But I mean, it's like that cold weather, cold night thing where George T. Stag. And it's like, I got a chance to drink the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection across the board. And you got the 2024 this year. And I got to taste that because that was the awards at that, that was a bottle from the awards competition that happened at the Brendiamo Penthouse. And I felt George T. Stag was good. But once again, when I drink the Stagg Jr., the warmth, does your George T. Staggs put out that hug that happens, that rich thickness?
I got to say yes, but the George T. Stag, to me, it offers a lot more richness. Also, the age, you can also tell the age there, but it's not so overpowering that it takes away from the flavor. There's a lot more flavor to it. I think this Stag, I mean, it's just, oh my God, from the 179 that I had to pay for this, as compared to 79 that I had to pay for this, because that's what I had to pay for this Stag. There's no difference. I'd pay 79 all day long for this, because it's almost as comparable, except for maybe the age and not quite so much as the flavor.
I think
the flavor's there. I mean, it's there, but
I think it's got more power though. Because when I drink the George T. Stag is designed to have some easiness to it, and it's still barrel strength. But this man, this has a little bit of pepper that the George T. Stag doesn't have, and it's got it's like a power pack.
You got a good point there, and I think that comes from the blending, and and that's where that taste panel, where they blend those barrels together. That's where that comes from, and you make a great point about that. And I think that's where that comes from.
Yeah, I think I mean I just think this brand is something as you know I don't think for the price that you pay, the availability that's there, and the quality of what you're getting, I just it just is what you want, and you can get it. Whereas, you know, the George T. Stagg is like how do you put it? This is the working man's bourbon special bottle. And the George T. Stagg is the rich man's special bottle. There you go. I said it. So, I mean, they both are exceptional. I wouldn't turn down either one of them, that's for sure. But it really hurts your pocket. Although, you know, lately, if you're paying $179 for the George T. Stagg, I mean, the prices lately have gone up to a point where $179 is cheap.
Absolutely.
You know, pulling in that double oak at $199, you know. So it does
and definitely considering when that bottle right there at $179 goes for, you know, $1,000 on secondary, $1,000 to $1,200 on secondary.
Well, Walter's on my side. He says Stagg beats George T. Stagg. Sorry, not sorry. George T. Stagg is effing amazing. Preach tiny.
Well, especially in Ohio where it's $59 per Stag.
But that's the price it should be. You know that. It's like it's going to be everywhere soon.
Did you say it was on your side?
I disagree with that.
What?
Compare it to what is on the market. Stag could easily, okay, why should Stag not bring $99 compared to a Russell's 13 that's, you know, considerably more now? This bottle to me for what is in their lineup should be $99 retail. I love that it's $59.
Absolutely. I agree.
Well, I think anything, the state of Ohio has really been exceptionalized in the fact that we're spoiled out of our minds on what we can get things for the price we get it. Just like getting a barrel proof Colonel Taylor, E.H. Taylor barrel proof. I mean, at one point I was pulling Stag for $54.99. I mean, I got the Stag. There was what was it? I got it was, I mean, we were Eagle Rare. It's like it was $29.99. You know, we just here in Ohio get it at prices that are even cheaper. That's cheaper than the Distillery.
Yep. That's why I like when I have to travel and work in North Carolina so much, and oh my gosh, they were doing drops like you would not believe, and I missed every one of them up in North Carolina. They dropped all the antique collections and the Pappies, everything, and I missed them all because I was working in the other direction. But yeah, they dropped them all at MSRP.
No, yeah, and MSRP, it's funny, can be different at different places. I mean, our MSRP is a little bit more than the real MSRP because the taxes in Ohio are a little bit higher. But at the same time,
North Carolina is pretty close to Ohio's. Pretty close to Ohio's.
As Randy Ford says, we're all spoiled. I agree, but
yeah, I agree with Randy. We are a little spoiled now. Just being able to acquire what we do when we do.
Well, the best part about it is when you're acquiring it as the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, when you walk in and you walk out and you're just like, really, did that just happen? And then even the cooler parts is when people just send me it. It's like that. It's like, once or twice a month, there's a bottle of bourbon on my doorstep, and I didn't even know who sent it to me until I do some investigating. So,
it's now, like I say, I am becoming completely spoiled because when I mentioned to these store owners here in South Carolina and Georgia and tell them who I am, and all of them now are becoming and knowing who I am and watching the podcast and all, and how much or my Facebook pages and how much I post about them when I do acquire bottles, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, well, I'm going to give it to you for this, but and I mean, it's considerably less from what they want for it, because they charge, all the way upwards to secondary prices, but I could get it for considerably less.
That's why I didn't want to. When we were in Kentucky, I didn't want to hurt your feelings that you were gonna be on double secret probation after that, and don't make me take away your Scotchy Bourbon Boys card.
Oh my God, I'm almost out again. No, I'm not really. But you're not gonna get no more printed, really?
Yeah. So you could go back. One thing that I wanted to talk about is Kentucky Bourbon Festival tickets are going to be going on sale soon, and look forward to the podcast with Randy Prass. He's going to be on. I'll let you guys know when we get it, and I mean, it's going to be exciting this year. There's a lot of new things happening. It's a little bit different. I love you guys got to admit, don't you love the evolution? It's kind of like we're going to basically do a prayer group, CT, at starting in August. It's going to be once every 2 weeks, just praying that all things happen. And we're going to pray to the gods. We're going to pray to the weather gods. We're going to pray so that you can come down and experience Kentucky Bourbon Festival with us for the full time that we're down there. But we're gonna. It's time for me to book the bus tour, so we're gonna put that out there. I need to get a count. You know what I mean? So I know what I'm dealing with. Walter said,
and we also need to start thinking about the distilleries that we're going to choose this year too.
What do you mean choose?
Right?
Choose what?
For the bus tour.
For the bus tour, the 3 distilleries.
Well, you guys can pitch in what you want to do. Maybe we've never head up to the Louisville area, but
we have special friends that's always offered for us to come up there that has contacts with those distilleries that live right there in the Louisville area.
Mm-hmm.
Which we can talk about later.
Yeah, that's just a hard thing to do. How we get there and how we don't.
We're in a bus.
So just so you know,
we're in a bus.
Then again, yeah.
It's just a matter of paying a little bit more for gas.
No, well, maybe we'll go to the Frankfurt area because we didn't do that, and we'll make Whiskey Thief fit, and then we'll just pick Walter up when we're up there.
I was just curious to say, let's do this. If we can get Walter to commit, we would make our first stop Whiskey Thief. He has to go the rest of the trip with us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That would
we'll put that shout out right now.
Right now, Walter. We picked you up.
Commit.
We started Whiskey Thief.
And you go with us the rest of the way. And believe me, Walter, I will turn you on to some old bourbon and whiskey, as I always do everybody.
Yes. And then afterwards, we got to go to Buffalo Trace, and you got to get Freddie to do our tour, CT.
Oh, well, we could probably get that to happen.
And maybe get a special, get a special tasting from Drew up there. The master blender.
Wait, my wife.
What?
Walter said, "Let me wake my wife." You don't have to ask it right now.
Walter said, "Pray for the Whiskey Thief Distilling." We can do that.
But I'm in. Oh, he says, but he's in. He's got to get clearance.
Oh, let me wake my wife.
So basically, we'll have to just put it out that it's the
He's in.
Kentucky Bourbon Boys, but sponsored by the Whiskey Thief Distilling Company bus tour.
And also, too, I'll definitely contact Freddie.
Yeah, I'd say.
And your wife, and Walter, your wife is invited.
A killer bus tour right there. If we go there and start at Whiskey Thief, we might have to end at Whiskey Thief too, though. Just saying.
Yeah. That way we can bring Walter and his wife back.
Well, maybe.
Right?
And then,
I know we got a thing, but we might have to spend the night in that area.
We can also do that. I mean, that's not out of the question, right?
Right. And then figure out what the third distillery would be. But maybe we'll let Walter pick what that one is. We go to Buffalo Trace and then where afterwards. And
I like that. I like it, guys. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. This is shaping up. This is a good start.
yeah, we would finish up after 5 o'clock. We'll just then all go right back to Whiskey Thief.
And this year we wouldn't have
Barbecue
pizzas because we could eat off the food trailer at Whiskey Thief. Oh my!
Jeff's been talking about doing a barbecue with Walter at Whiskey Thief. It's the perfect opportunity to do a barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Who's been talking about that?
You said something to Walter about it.
Yeah, about doing a barbecue. Maybe that's the day. Well, you wouldn't want that. Then Walter would have to be there making sure all the barbecue was going good. Oh,
Walter
well,
will get people to handle it.
he'll be back at 5 when they start serving the barbecue.
I think we've just totally set this up for maybe the greatest bus tour ever.
Yes. It's sounding like it's gonna be.
Yeah, I got some other ideas up my sleeve. We're gonna make this one
Maybe
epic.
we could do that. We could do Buffalo Trace and then go see Jimmy and Eddie at
Turkey.
Wild Turkey, and we drag Ann and James down to make sure they go on the bus tour.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's another guy in Frankfurt that'd like to come along by the name of Amsey.
Amsey,
will.
yeah. Amsey would too.
We might have to stop for lunch at Waffle House on the way.
No, that's out. That Waffle House is out. I'm gonna have to call no on that.
If we all get out and go to Waffle House, the shit will hit the fan.
What about renting that? What about renting that Total Castle Mansion right over that Carl was talking about that sleeps like 10 people? We rent that for the night. That night.
Ooh. Oh boy, Scotchy Bourbon Boys throwing out the castle to everybody.
Yeah. Walter, I'll just give you a name. Walter.
Oh my God.
So,
All
Walter,
right.
you work on the castle and the barbecue.
You're just throwing out jobs for him now.
He's already he'll get Amsey in. All right, we're in. Walter's already like, I gotta be on this.
Hey. He just suggested Wild Turkey.
I said that.
Wait, I said because if we get Ann and James on, she'll hook us up with Bruce and Eddie.
Yep.
And you're right. Waffle House is perfect. It is. It's the best. And I'm just happy that Walter sees it that way, because I know Amsey does.
Hey, Walter.
So we finish up.
Waffle House is perfect. You just don't realize that the last experience we had with Amsey.
Oh my God!
At Waffle House.
And I don't know how
after the Bourbon Festival.
Yeah.
A late night. Well, actually, it was a late night after the first night of Bourbon Festival.
Bourbon on the Banks.
Bourbon on the Banks. Yeah.
The only night of Bourbon on the Banks.
Yeah, it was Bourbon on the Banks.
And somehow I left you and Amsey to get into the hotel on the back door, and then it turned into like a trek through Mount Everest.
Hey, two drunks walking down the street, 1 foot on the curb, one on the sidewalk, one on the curb, one on the sidewalk. Cops pull up. Hey guys, you drunk? We said no. You buying?
Do you think? Hey, Walter. So if we do this through Kentucky Bourbon Boys, maybe Walter we can do lunch at the Pendennis Club.
That's in the other city, you fool.
I guess.
We're going to be going to the farm, not
where
downtown.
Tiny did not want to go in the first place, where we were talking about Louisville and all that area. And he's like, oh no, that's too far.
Yeah.
And now he's talking about going there.
So I think we're going to have to talk to Roger and make sure that everything works out. But I don't see why. It's about 40 minutes from.
Wait, the lunch would be at the Stave, right?
The Stave would be good. And, you know, there's always, if we can't get into to Wild Turkey, we could always go see Crazy Dave for a tour. That'd be
no.
And,
no.
and
Hell no.
Tour. Let us take us on a brown tour.
When I was in Florida, I saw my sister, and she was in Kentucky with her daughter, and they were just driving around Kentucky, and they asked me where to go. So I told them to go to, but it was a Sunday, so everything was closed that I told them to do. They ended up at what's it called? I remembered. Glens Creek. And Michelle, my sister, was like, it was like 100 degrees. And we went in there and we became captive. She goes, we were waiting for the tour. They told us it was tour. We sat there, and all of a sudden this guy sits us down, and we told him that we're beginners. And he basically told them in so many words that he didn't care, and that whatever he poured them, it's impolite not to drink it all.
Well, and you know, you just have to know how to deal with country folk. Okay?
Well, she did not know how to deal with. She's Wisconsin, but living in Florida, and she's oh my God. And so she was just telling me about the experience, and it was like 8,000 degrees, and then it rained, and she was like freaking out driving on the road to get back up, you know, the one side road. She said the creeks were all high, and that one was washed out, so they couldn't go back to Castle and Key. They had to go up that one road, and she thought somebody was going to come down. Oh my God. So that was pretty fun.
So Walter, your question, you said Stave or Pendennis Club. If we're coming to Frankfurt, obviously Stave. If we're coming to Louisville, then Pendennis. But I think that if we're going to do the bus tour, taking people to the farm is the best place to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I don't love the Louisville spot. I love it. But I think that for the overall experience, it's kind of like getting their feet wet into what got.
Well, I agree, except you have to convince Walter has to convince Hannah to be there when we're there.
Oh yeah, that's gotta that's gotta happen.
Yeah.
But a good point is
maybe Hannah can come.
Like the lunch stop would be a good place for the lunch stop would be the Stave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
We can get that.
I'm gonna try and get I'm gonna try and get enough people for 2 buses.
If we do this trip, there will be 2 buses.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make it happen. We will. I guarantee you, we'll get enough people when they find what's happening on this.
Yeah. This will be the best bus tour we've had.
Yeah, and they might want to try to get enough people to get a 3rd bus, but
no, the 2 buses are all you can do at Distillery.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
If we get a 3rd bus, then we just stay at Whiskey Thief the whole time. The bus would take us there, take us to lunch, and put us back at Whiskey Thief.
This will be an epic tour, and you'll be privileged to get on one of the 2 buses. I'm just saying.
Walter said Hannah is there more than me. No comment.
All right, guys, what do you think?
We got to get this wrapped up. We're at 10:15, boys.
Yep, for sure. Great podcast, everybody, tonight.
Absolutely.
We
Thanks to everybody for tuning in and watching and commenting and just hanging out with us and having a good time, because that's what we like to do.
Yep, for sure. So I'll get my bearings about me and I'll wrap this up. Thanks everybody for all the comments, like he said. But www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys, Glencairn's, hats like what CT is wearing tonight, and then also t-shirts. So if you're interested, let me know. If you're interested in our current barrel pick, which is the Lillian Sinclair or the William Dalton, contact me either way on Facebook or any way you can. And then also remember,
bourbon.
No. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Also, all the podcast formats, mainly Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. Remember, like, listen, comment, and subscribe. Leave good feedback, like he says. And, just give us some good love and support. And remember, good bourbon equals
good friends
and good times. And
live your life
as
uncut and unfiltered, but also drink responsibly and don't drink and drive.
And
Absolutely.
little Steve-O is going to take us out.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die.
Oh, right. All right. We're done there. I'm going to quick save it, get it ready, file, publish to uploading. That I like that the podcast tonight because it's more so our normal kind of thing that we haven't been able to do lately, kind of between me not feeling well and that kind of stuff, and then whatever. But we were able to, I think we had a lot of people on. We were responding to everybody. My favorite, just recently we had a comment on YouTube from Proof Oak. He's like, "Is this the opposite of an AA meeting?"
Wait a minute. Is that Schmear?
It could be. It could be.
If it's Proof Oak, it could be Schmear.
Answer: yes, it is. It is the exact opposite.
It's because an AA meeting ain't fun.
Respond to that message, except there are no radishes.
Except.
Oh my God.
Correct? Without radishes. And Dave will understand if that's him. Well, you said proof and oak or proof and wood?
No, proof oak.
I don't know.
Radishes.
Dave is proof and wood, isn't he?
Yeah, Dave's proof and wood.
See, I don't know who that is. Proof and oak.
I'm still going to tell him no radishes.
It's been a while since I've seen Dave. We need to catch up with him.
Yeah, he's usually out there more in that Chicago region, it seems like.
Yeah.
There you go.
We need to have him on the podcast, as like this, and get his stuff out there because he's got a lot of good things.
Yes, he does. Absolutely, I agree.
Has he put out a number 47 yet?
He's got a lot of stuff. I was watching some stuff from the last week or two, and he's been coming out with some different things. So, I just like Dave. He's a good dude, fun to talk to. Got a lot of knowledge. Holy shit, that guy's got knowledge.
I know.
So
Yeah.
CT, I had a meeting with Shay
I
over
was
at
talking
Gervasi.
Danny at the last festival for a little while, and it's probably too short, about 30 or 40 minutes, and it's been too long since I've tasted anything else that he's come out with.
Yeah.
So
What'd you say, Danny?
So I had a meeting today at Gervasi with Shay. I mean, the single barrel that they did, okay, that they put out is fantastic. I mean, it's the
Take
first
your word on it.
it's the first barrel, and it's pot stilled that they did. It's the first barrel they've released of the stuff that they've distilled. We finally got to this point. And he's putting out this distillers club, which I joined because I just wanted to be a part of it. But it makes sense if they're putting out.
You got 2 bottles, one for him and one to split between me and you.
I got this bottle that I opened, but then he had one from the distillers club, which there's 15 people in so far. And what he's doing is you go there. I wasn't able to go because we were there because we were at Maker's Mark, but the next one's June 6th. And we're going to do a cook into a mash and then put it in a fermenter. But he's like, he's following Alan. He follows everybody. Shay has that he's Sagamore, right? In Cincinnati. I think that's where, or what is it? In the Cincinnati.
Sagamore is out of New York.
No, he came from the Cincinnati distillery.
So he's Cincinnati Distilling Company.
But what were they before that started with an S?
Started with what?
I'm not sure. I don't know what that
Sycamore,
was.
it was like. Anyways,
Are we still on Facebook, by the way?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yes. Why?
I just wondered, but just make sure.
No, I was just letting. So, anyways, he comes from there, but he's got brewing experience, right?
Sagamore is Maryland, is what Randy says.
Yes.
Look up what the Cincinnati distillery. What's it called now?
It's Cincinnati Distilling is the name of what's there now.
Yeah, look at what it was before it was Cincinnati Distilling. Look that up.
I have a bottle of Cincinnati Distilling.
So do I. But before it was that, that's where he was there, but it was but there was they changed their name to Cincinnati Distilling. I know that.
So anyway, go ahead and tell the story, Richard.
Well, anyways, he's really into. Hey, Walter's still drinking his Stag Jr. and hanging out.
I so wish we lived like 20 minutes away.
Well, Walter, we gotta invite Walter up for the Christmas party, and him and his wife need to come up and stay at Gervasi, because Gervasi.
Oh, yeah.
So the podcast we did with Gervasi has been extremely successful because of Gervasi's success of their winery, their vineyard, their whole experience, their wedding venue, and all the different places to stay, plus the distillery, and it's all in one package, and there's so much to do, but it basically gets a lot of coverage because of that. They're more than just a distillery, but this is like they're putting out bourbon finally. All they've been doing is finished stuff, wine finished, maple syrup finished, that they had purchased, but this is their first stuff off the pot still, and it's fantastic. I mean, for pot still, there's nothing wrong with it. It's got a great flavor. I love it. So it's 5 minutes from my house. It makes sense just to go there and do lives and stuff like that. And then he's willing to do some like kind of distiller talk type stuff where we go over and show people. While he's doing a cook, he just invites me over, and does the cook, and I record it, and we do a live kind of thing. So that's going to be pretty cool. I just think, it's, I love all the Kentucky places that we go to, and I definitely go to Kentucky more because Whiskey Thief exists. I mean,
tomorrow in Kentucky, does everybody know what's going on in Kentucky tomorrow? No.
No.
Kentucky, does everybody know what's going on in Kentucky tomorrow? No. Kentucky, does everybody know what's going on in Kentucky tomorrow? No. Kentucky, does everybody know what's going on in Kentucky tomorrow? No. So tomorrow at Revival in Covington, Marianne Eves is coming in for a special evening. So that's kind of cool because Marianne has been obviously just came from Louisiana, from everything going on down there. But
Which
how cool is
Macaulay
that, you know?
Macaulay just mopped up. Holy crap! Between Macaulay and Royce, did anybody else win anything? But what I
No,
did, I was kind of irritated because I looked at what all the places that won the whiskey awards, and almost everything was finished. And I was like, New Orleans Bourbon Festival. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he went nuts in those categories.
Yeah, and I don't think Amin was there this year. I think he was out doing something somewhere else. So, you know, I'm sure it's different. But yeah, so there's a lot of good things right now. It seems like the whole atmosphere of the bourbon world with the uh, kickoff in Louisiana kind of being the kickstart to the season. Now it's really starting to go.
So you have to basically right now block this past week in your calendar for next year and do everything you possibly can to make this week work so we go to New Orleans. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
I agree, and I want to be down there. And Walker's.
Do we have to wait one more? Do we actually have to wait one more year? Because
this next year might be possible. It's just depending on what happens with the kids and stuff. But yeah, Cooper will be a senior next year, so God willing, they're still playing basketball and doing whatever. But we'll see. It should be late enough that I should be able to make it happen.
Walter said Walter, next year you need to enter, so when we go there, we can be there with you because it is a festival that you don't want to miss. It's right up your alley. I mean, when we were Nash, you got to admit, they had, when we were there last year, they had a place that was basically what was it? Charcoal broiling oysters that constantly for 2 straight nights, the whole night of just absolutely charcoal broiled oysters, and they were like
phenomenal.
The butter and the breading and the whole thing.
Parmesan cheese.
Oh my God.
On top of them right after they come off the grill.
And it this fire was going and the whole place smelled like this charcoal oil, you know, and it's like but even if you're not a big fan of oysters,
of the different tastings that you had, because they had crab balls that another restaurant had that were awesome, you know, but those oysters were the hit of the place.
But it was like,
from what I heard, they were there again this year and completely, you know, packed out again.
I mean, if I didn't, I had to go to this New York thing. Plus, I would have put time aside, but you know, you couldn't make it, CT. So we need to go next year. Maybe we just do it every other year. But New Orleans is a place, you know, it's just right up there. It's not the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, but it's its own festival.
It's completely different and phenomenal in its own way. I mean, it's just presented in a completely different way, and it's just a closeness like you can't compare.
If Walter's still here, send him an invite, Nash. Tell him to come on. Send Walter.
I don't have Walter's.
Send it. Aren't you friends with him on Facebook? Send it to him on Facebook. On all you got to do is copy and paste the invite and put it on Facebook Messenger.
Okay, I got you.
He's on Facebook right now.
Well, you guys, at some point I got to get to bed because I have to go see Marianne tomorrow.
You're going? So before you leave, let's talk about the CT experience, bourbon experiences that you've been having, because You've gone to quite a few in the last couple weeks where it's a bourbon experience that you're going to, but just run over that and then you can get the hell out of
I
here.
sent Walter a friend request, but
Walker?
yeah.
He says he's still here.
I'll send it to him.
There's been so much going on. The cows here in Central Ohio have done a ton of different things. Matter of fact, tomorrow night I'm missing one of the events because Mary Ann and Brad at Revival, but we just had a big event a couple weeks ago in Columbus with Bernie Lovers, and that was at the Fado. I think that particular one they call the Bar and Grill. They have two locations. Fado is what they actually pronounce it as. And Bernie was there, and we drank every Heaven Hill 20, 19, 18, 17, Old Fitz, just about everything you could think of they had. And it was amazing. That was a great evening, and it was coupled with a dinner. And so there's been just, oh my God, so many things going on, so much. And this thing with Mary Ann. So the funny thing with Mary Ann, I have been talking to Mary Ann. This bottle sits right behind me in every podcast. Every podcast, that bottle.
Okay, I have that bottle too.
Correct. So 3 years ago, I messaged Mary Ann and asked her, I said, if we ever see each other at ABF, wherever, can I please get you to sign my bottle? And she said, yes, that's the only thing she said. And so I responded to her that I would be there tomorrow night, and I still have the bottle. Would she still want to sign it? And she said, absolutely, cheers. So I'm excited because this was one of my first really interesting bottles. It was a deal that Mary Ann obviously did with Watershed. It was, at that point, one of the highest proof bottles I'd ever had, 130.4 proof. And it was the only one that she did with them. So I'm excited to meet her tomorrow, get this signed, and be in that Revival house. So I'm excited to meet her tomorrow, get this signed, and be in that Revival house. I'm excited to meet her tomorrow.
I think Walter's coming in.
Walter's coming in.
And be in that Revival. Walter, turn your phone down. Meet her tomorrow.
I think Walter's coming in.
Walter, turn your phone down.
Oh, it's Randy. Turn your phone down.
Walter said, how do I join? Walter, turn your phone down. Walter said, how do I join? Turn your phone down.
I've got my phone down, but can you hear me?
Yeah, but I hear your.
Walter on.
I've got my phone down, but can you hear me?
Yeah,
but there we go.
Hey, you're good.
Okay.
All right. Walter said, how does he join? But
Here it comes.
for Walter to join, he would have to answer his text.
No, here's the link. Here is the link. I
I'm
just
giving you crap, Walter.
and
Where are you going to meet Mary Ann at?
At Revival.
yeah,
Revival.
yeah,
So
the best place on the planet.
Yeah, you tell her we need to get her on there.
Guys,
I've been wanting to contact her and get her on the podcast for a long time.
This is not my first rodeo, folks. Okay, this is CT we're talking about. We're getting this done.
Are you gonna what cereal are you gonna mix that with her?
With her?
Is that the Mary Ann you're talking?
Oh yeah,
That's it.
And here comes Walter.
is Walter coming on?
He's got Whiskey Thief right there. I just sent it to and Walker. Feel free to join us.
I sent him the link.
There you. Oh man, look at that.
Oh, Walter. All right.
Hey Walter.
They go horizontal. Is that horizontal better?
Yeah, much better.
Wow.
Walter, there you go.
All right.
There we
Guy,
go.
There
Up
it
front
is.
and center. How
So
are you, Walter?
Doing great, fellas. Love the show
Awesome.
tonight. Great show tonight. I got my Stag Jr. right here. I've got these other Stag Juniors. I like was going through all of my shelves, pulling out all the Stag Juniors.
Oh,
This is
wow.
the only one that's open, and that's the one that's the 132.3, and it is so good. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it.
Let's see what batch that is.
Hey, Walter, what are you doing tomorrow
This
night?
one's 134.8.
130.8.
134.8 store pick.
Okay.
You guys have this jam right here? Have you had this guy right here?
Yeah, that is good shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that this one? Walter, is that this one?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's that. Yeah, exactly.
I've got that sitting right over there, but I think I got the best of it all.
Yes, I would agree. 100%.
I'm gonna open this one and see how it survived its trip to Florida and back. Oh. So did you all
Now
like
you got me intrigued. I need to get a whiskey thief bottle out of here.
I got this one.
What'd you say that proof was?
Walter, I have to thank you for everything that you do, man.
132.3.
132.3.
132.3. I think that's
Walter,
that's
you remember
batch
this one?
12.
Well, yeah.
That's batch 12, the same batch that CT, and that was the batch that Nash gifted me that I drank it all.
Yep.
Yeah,
The last junior year.
yeah. Well, not the last junior year, but it's one of them.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Walter, you remember this one?
And
Or
that was
Walter,
right
you remember
before
this
the
one?
last junior.
Yes. Yes. Did I make that label? Is that a label we made?
Yeah, you got either you or Hannah one.
Looks like it. Looks like it took some.
They spelled thief
effort.
wrong. Whoever did it spelled thief wrong. It's I before E except after C.
I will say maybe I made it, but I can't write that nice.
We even know that in Kentucky. I mean, we even know that.
That might mean Randy might have wrote it after.
I probably no. This is a Jim Beam Black bottle. I don't know that I ever had one of those.
I
Well,
have no idea what you're talking about.
here you go. Here's a Jim Beam Black right here. Right in
No,
this
stop.
George T.
Well, it's about the same color.
No, seriously. I filled this for videos just so I could just do pouring, like show it being poured into. This bottle was gone, but then somehow the bottle
Well, the
that it
colors
was, it's off.
Color is about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
This one's
this-
darker because I got a black
Look at that
t-shirt on.
funky
behind it.
glass. I love that glass.
Yeah.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Walter, this is the bottle that we drank on the podcast when we were sweating. If you remember that day.
Oh yeah.
Quite warm, and we were drinking this rye. Holy crap! This is a butter delicious rye. It's different.
Thank you.
Come on, I ain't tasted
Look
that.
at that one.
I'm getting a lot of
Connie's got
butterscotch on this.
Who signed that one? That's not me. Who's that?
It's
This is
Marianne Eves.
Oh, Marianne.
You-
Gotcha.
Is that forbidden?
Yes.
I think I have that over here on the shelf. I'm not sure.
So Tiny has my original bottle. When I got this bottle is when I gifted Tiny his bottle.
Here we go.
And his is signed, just not personalized. This is personalized.
But I'm gonna tell you,
You can't have this.
this Walter, this is one of the best ryes that I've drank from. There's been several ones when I've come down to Whiskey Thief. The one thing that I always find, it's like, and I'm not saying it's the way it is today because I haven't been down in a few months, but typically there's 4 bourbons and a rye. Is that still kind of true?
Yes.
And Amzie and I would laugh because I'd see Amzie there and we'd be like, man, that rye, holy crap, it's killer. The one that's in the far right barrel, you got to get it before it's gone. And it'd be gone. And
Right.
this is similar to those in the fact that it just has all those right rye notes, the little bit of chocolate, the mocha, but then there's a buttercream in there that hits your palate that it just kind of lays. Well, that's a killer rye, man.
Oh, you're making my mouth
Thanks,
water.
man.
But
Are you the one? Are you the one going down to see Marianne tomorrow?
Yeah, you coming?
No, but take her some of that rye. Let her taste it. Seriously.
I'll take it.
and tell her
Are you-
Walter said he
Are you
wants to.
kidding?
Yeah.
I will definitely take it. I will say, here, try that. It's
There you go.
Yeah.
She's gonna say whiskey thief who? Who's that? Who's whiskey thief? She's never heard of us.
Yeah, whatever.
He doesn't want to hear my sales pitch.
You don't think Marianne's heard of y'all?
I don't know. I think it's about a 50-50.
So why don't you come down and I'll find you with a bottle of 24D.
Well, wait.
It's
It's not.
a deal.
It's
But
it's not that far. I mean, it's just revival up in
Covington.
Covington. I mean, it's not. It's come up, but
okay. This is gonna kill the video feed. I'm gonna check my calendar. What are we talking about? When are we doing this?
They're starting it at I think 7 o'clock. I'll bring a bottle of 24D for you if you show up.
and if you
shit.
and I'm
That's
sure
a
Brad,
hell of a
if
deal.
Walter Zausch from Whiskey Thief shows up, Brad's gonna host you.
Hey, just so you know, unopened 24D right there.
Oh my gosh.
there you
I
go.
have a meeting I cannot get out of it tomorrow night, but I'm gonna try because that's
7 o'clock. So you'd have to leave there at 6. We'll be there for a little while. You know, I'm guessing.
you're killing me. You're killing me.
Walter, you've got 2 propositions: Marianne Eves and a 24D Stag. Wow.
Well, I mean, Marianne uses
Yeah.
all the respect, you know.
Yes.
And but I don't think she probably knows who Whiskey Thief is. I'm just gonna
That's
say.
you are full. You are
Guaranteed
no.
it, she
There's
does.
no way. She knows.
She knows.
I mean, come on.
Hey,
Maybe through you guys because she listens to your podcast or something. That might be the only way.
she knows because she keeps up with the whiskey world. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
She is unbelievable.
I will give you Jackie Zcon might not know who Whiskey Thief is.
Yeah,
She
she does.
definitely does not know.
With her a
She
lot.
She does know.
No, she
Yeah.
does not.
Jackie does.
No,
No,
way.
she does not.
But I'll
Jackie
give you.
does. You know why Jackie knows?
Why?
Because of Rebecca.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of who?
Rebecca
Because of Rebecca
Neely.
Because they're so close, her and Royce. And
Yeah.
they
Oh,
are
Royce.
close to
Yeah,
us.
probably through Royce. She probably does. That's a
But
good point.
Rebecca is awesome. There's no doubt about it. His wife, she just freaking knows whiskey, and she's part of the whole. The reason why they put out some decent shit is
Part of the
because it's her
industry.
palate. And then they.
Well, Royce.
So,
has got- Royce has
Jackie's hidden barn, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She probably knows. Yeah.
So she works at Roy's.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
all I'm
Royce
gonna
is
say,
definitely-
last year at New Orleans Bourbon Festival, I walked up to her and I was talking to her, and she thought I was a stalker. She didn't even know who I was.
You look like a stalker.
That's, that's not the first time I've heard that.
You are a whiskey.
I mean, I just said a little comment, and she looked at me like, "Who the hell are you?"
That's mostly food
You know why that is, right? Because you didn't have me with you.
That's right. She
Oh.
needs to know that you're looking at her when you're not looking at her, right, Nash?
Exactly. See, like my little crooked eye there. See, I would have been looking away when I was talking, and see, you wouldn't have been considered that.
No. I have some pictures with her at KBF a few years ago that are hilarious that I'll share later.
Okay.
I'm going to go back into Jack as I can does not know Whiskey Thief. I'm going to go
Yes.
back to that.
I'm gonna text her right freaking now.
It's almost 11 o'clock.
What do you
think-
think a whiskey, a young whiskey chick is not up? That's like saying that Christy Atkinson is not up right now. Now,
Okay.
now I will tell you, Walter,
No,
Christy
no.
knows who you are.
I'm a bet.
Oh, 100%.
staying.
She's a friend. She's a good
I'm
friend.
putting my money on that she's still up, and I'm putting my money on that she knows who Whiskey Thief is.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Walter's house, yeah.
All right.
I'm going to put my money on neither of those things.
I
But
will tell
Stag-
you, Walter, that your popularity is like a grassroots thing, and like in Ohio, if somebody knows bourbon, they already been down to your place and know
Really?
who you guys are. You're underestimating your traffic. You tell me this, you've told me the stats, and what you call it, Hunter used to tell me the stats. You're underestimating how awesome people think your experience are, and everybody tells their friends. I mean, it is a destination to get to.
Yeah. And
Up in Ohio.
No, but you know what though? I feel like we are better known amongst bourbon fans than like bourbon industry people. I mean, somehow bourbon industry people have this kind of like blind spot when it comes to Whiskey Thief. I could be totally wrong.
No, they're all interested, especially the aspect that the grassroots you come from. So, like, if you're involved in distilling or blending, they want to know what your pot still aspect and what you're doing and your passion, and that's definitely there. I mean, it's like Alan, like most people know who Alan Bishop is. I mean, you're right there.
Okay, Walter, and Nash is right where he's coming from. Okay,
Yeah.
Walter, and I'm going to tell you this, that Bardstown Bourbon Company, do you think they know who you are?
No.
Absolutely they do. You know why they know? Because I've been on Bardstown Bourbon's tour. I can't tell you how many times. Rickhouse tour. You know what it consisted of? A tour you started in the building, and then you went out to the Rickhouse, saw the Rickhouse, and they maybe gave you a pour from a barrel. Now you know what the Rickhouse tour is? You go straight to the Rickhouse, you drink from 4 to 5 barrels, and then. So that didn't come because they didn't know you. That came from you, and they saw that, and they're like, people are loving drinking from barrels, and we want to be like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I swear your distillery and the promotion of it is changing the industry because they understand the traffic. Now, you got a great location, you know what I mean? You're 15 minutes, 20 minutes from Buffalo Trace. That really helps. But at the same time, the experience keeps everybody coming back. You know that everybody, how many times do you see people coming back?
Your experience, it is trumping all these, what do you call the so-called diamond-clad experiences or tours, diamond-clad tours. Your experience is trumping that, and it's catching on more and more. And, and that's why it's getting out there. And that's why more and more people are knowing who Walter Zausch is and who Whiskey Thief Distilling Company is. And the two,
Can I say something?
Two experiences now.
May I share something?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Walter, the thing that makes the difference, and I've been to literally over 100 distilleries, the thing that makes the difference is your people. We can tell that your people care not only about the product you put out, but about the people that are there to learn. They genuinely care and show that they care about everybody who walks in that door. And that's what's making the difference how people see
I'll
you.
even say it's your customers because it's the people that want to spend time with your people, but they're like cool as hell. You're there on a Saturday afternoon or whatever, a Friday or a Wednesday, and the people that are there are like just totally chill, and everybody sticks around. It's like you end up there way longer, and you'll skip another tour to stay because of what you got there, and you've even what you pulled off in Louisville. Yeah, I mean seriously. I went to dinner and came back with my wife to see the band, right? I mean, I at any point I could have bowed out. You wouldn't have cared. You know what I mean? But we came back because it's such a cool thing. And then when Derek showed up, I was like, Spraveri, you know what I mean? It's just like at any time, it's just family hanging out. It's like it's the right everything.
And that's what we like to promote about you, Walter. And I am so
Okay,
glad.
fine. I'll be on the bus tour. Okay, fine. You win. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
The flattery will get you everywhere, I guess.
But that
Hey,
bus
I'll
tour,
tell you,
I'm going to promote that
but-
bus tour, and
I don't know what the meeting you have tomorrow is, but at 7 o'clock at Revival with Marianne Eves might be the best meeting you ever had.
wait, Walter, you should just have the meeting at Revival.
I'm telling you,
Listen,
nothing better for your business than could be for that collab with those people that'll be there. That is phenomenal.
all right, I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna work on it.
If you're there,
You guys are amazing. I gotta tell you, I'm a little emotional right now because I don't do this fanfare thing all that well. But that's you guys. Very, very nice of you to say all these things. I really appreciate it.
Wait, it's not
means a
nice.
lot.
It's not
We
nice
work
of
very
us.
hard.
It's real.
Well,
Yeah, it's real.
Thank
and
you.
It's not
true.
bullshit. It's
Yeah.
just freaking real. You make
Yeah.
you make good whiskey.
this is just because I'm a sponsor. Stop
Nope.
it.
Yeah,
Nope.
No, it's
Walter,
You're a sponsor because of it.
yeah.
I know.
Can you
I
hear
know.
me?
I'm just kidding.
if you
you're
want
not my sponsor.
What?
Walter, you're not my sponsor, but I will tell you, as soon as I finish this dissertation, which I defend 1 week from today, I will be up to see you and several other. I'm just going to take 2 weeks and go up to the trail and visit everybody because I feel like I've been locked down trying to get this dissertation done so that I can graduate.
Well, do you have
So
my
I don't
info?
know. Do what?
Do you have my info?
Do I
Get my
have your
number?
info?
Yeah.
Not specifically. I mean, I've got the stuff about the distillery.
But do you have my phone number?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'll give it
I
to all
can-
y'all.
I can give it.
Okay.
Hey, Walter, I'll give it to him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
contact me and let me know when you're coming, and I'd love to hang out with you and have some bourbon.
And he definitely,
Sounds good.
Walter, that's not a thing. Walter likes to definitely hang out. That's for sure. I mean, honestly,
That's one of my favorite. That's my favorite part.
I mean, it's like you made a place where you like your favorite place to hang out is. It's just totally cool.
hang out, having a cigar, having some bourbon.
Oh, so do you think that you're gonna have like an outdoor patio for smoking cigars in the summer?
You're in Louisville or at the farm?
In Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville, we're working on it.
Okay.
Louisville has some tricky rules about cigars and smoking and stuff. We're figuring them all out.
And
But
the reason is because of the fire when the whole town burnt down.
yeah,
So,
that's right.
That stuff is tricky.
Now Frankfurt is not a problem. Just sit outside and enjoy your cigar.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, and you have some damn good cigars there.
We have.
Yeah.
And
So,
We have all new ones, Tiny. We have a new cigar company we're working with, and I think they're really good.
So Walter, you're in for the bus tour, so you got to help us put together the epic 2025 bus tour to beat all fucking bus tours.
Yeah, I'll call. I was getting ready to call Kentucky Bourbon Boys bus tours and see if they can what they can do, and then we'll just get that thing going. I think this year, last year we had one bus, but I think this year we're gonna have two.
And
Wow.
I'm really
Awesome.
gonna pull some of my epic pours bottles from my dad's collection for this. This will be special.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll show.
And CT, if I can't make it tomorrow, give me a break, dude. Like, but you can help me figure out some other way to earn that Stag bottle. I'll do it.
Dude, I'm gonna hang on to that bottle for you. Dude, seriously. I'm gonna put it up here. I'm not gonna touch it. I already have one, so that's my extra.
What do you got there?
I'm
Tiny?
blessed to have two of them. That one's yours. And when I see you
I love
next
it.
time, even if it's not tomorrow, that's your bottle.
Thanks, man.
Hey, but listen to this, Walter. I know, along with me and CT, we're gonna work on Marianne Eves and getting
Yeah.
her to meet you too, along
Oh.
with us.
Hey,
This
Nash.
is going with me tomorrow because when she drinks this and Brad drinks it, they're gonna both be like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. So
Walter,
Yeah.
Walter, I'm not lying. I've tasted your rye. Like, once again, I'm not a huge rye fan. When I've had good ryes, but I have a lot. I've had like mostly bad ryes, but I've never had a bad rye from Whiskey Thief. Every time I drink your rye, I think it's really good. But when I walk down into this place here with 900 freaking bottles of bourbons and ryes, which it's probably about 60 ryes, I'm
No,
gonna
it's
pick a
really
bourbon.
good.
But Nash, here's the bottle. He asked about this bottle, Mr. Nash. Tell him
Yeah.
about this bottle right here.
all right, my dad, he was a big bourbon and whiskey drinker, and so, and actually he was an alcoholic, but he was 23 years active duty military, traveled all over the world, and had 10 kids. So as he
Wow.
traveled the world, he would collect these decanters, and his favorite was Jim Beam whiskey, Walter. All right,
Okay.
because his name was J.B. Nash Sr., okay? But he just liked to drink Jim Beam. But he liked to collect these whiskey decanters, and whenever he traveled, and he had a collection of these of over 50 different decanters. Well, when he brought these decanters, in which I often made the mistake of saying these were my dad's decanters. The reason they were full is because when he brought these decanters into our home, my mother was like, "Oh no, you're not drinking that. It's going on my shelves. I like that, you know." So she had them collected on her shelves, really. And so when he passed away, I was the only one out of 10 kids to go in the army. And so when he passed away, I was given all of his decanters and all that. Well, I didn't know back in '98 I wasn't a whiskey drinker or anything like. I didn't know. I put them all up. I wrapped them up in my mom's pillowcases and sheets and blankets, and boxed them up and duct taped them up and put them up in her attic. Okay, until like 2020, all of a sudden that was our second year of this podcast, and all of a sudden I told Jeff, I said, "Oh my God, you know, I've got all these decanters and whiskey decanters that belong to my dad." And so I started pulling them out and unwrapping them and everything, and all of them full, completely sealed. Just a couple of them that, you know, that didn't make it because of the corks, but 95% of them did. And ever since then, I've been opening them up and sharing them and giving them, you know, to like my brother Jeff, and opening them up on our bus tours and sharing them with our friends and all that. And that
It's
just,
great juice, probably.
Oh my God, it's good.
Some of them are phenomenal.
It's like
That-
the cherry of Beam is insane from the 70s. It's
Wow.
just so
This-
cherry.
yeah. This one, I just happen to have two of them.
Oh wow, look at that.
Look, this one, look, still completely sealed, pristine. And this one is from Kentucky Single Barrel Whiskey, and it's from Marita Sparta, Clifton, New Jersey. Okay, and it's
And what's on the bottle?
it's actually this is actually a Christmas.
Oh, look at that.
And that's
That's
one
nice.
bottle your mom, right? You determined this was your mom's bottles.
Yeah, these were my mom's, that she put them on her shelf. All right. and this is actually in 1973. Well,
Wow.
this past year, or I gave Jeff that one and brought it up. We opened it up at our Christmas party in Ohio.
I made a makeshift cork because the cork it was good whiskey, but the cork fell apart.
Yeah, and it's a 12-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 90 proof. But it was like I say, it was from Marita Spirits, which was from Clifton, New Jersey.
Look how clear that is,
Wow.
Walter. Just that.
But yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
but that's just some of the most of the decanters that I have were from Jim Beam decanters. But he had several other decanters from other places that we've opened up along the way. And that's the kind
awesome.
of stuff that I do on the bus trip.
Well, and then he finds, like, for instance, you know how you let us have the Pendennis Club
Yeah.
bourbon, and then you showed us those bottles, that the history of Pendennis Club, and it's like that's very similar to what Super Nash
What I've
does.
been doing.
He
Yeah, what I've
basically
been doing.
finds these bottles, these dusties, and then we open them up. So we're always opening up, like, so while we're doing the tour, every single place there's one or two bottles open that we have in between each place that we're going. So we might have the old Fitzgerald from, you know, I mean, it was just crazy the bottles that we have, and then people bring stuff that they think is special. So the whole time, you know, the great thing about a bus tour is you're not driving. So, and then
I came into that.
I might have had about 12 bottles on the bus.
This is the old Stitzel Weller that we opened up year before last.
wait, from 1970
Sure.
what, 6?
76, yeah.
Wow.
And this just happened to be from South Carolina, bicentennial. This one right here was a J.W. Dant. Okay.
Wow.
This was from the 1968 collection, and we opened up one of these
On 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And when you
And
think about it, that's
my dad had the whole collection of this. There were two that were the light blue color, and then there were 5 that were what they call the milk bottle collection, which I gave Jeff one of the milk bottle collections.
yeah, right here. It's got a. It's funny because the cork on this one, on that one, was just like this unique, weird, like plastic thing. So I replaced it with it fits with a Wilderness Trail cork. But look at that. I mean, it's Dant from, and it's got the bottle and the milk bottle. I mean, it's just like, see, you got
And
the
the
Dant
whiskey-
label. Now that
Ooh.
still would be Heaven Hill, right?
How's
They
it
bought.
taste?
Oh my God, they're all the Dusties that.
Oh, delicious.
I mean, the
Oh my God.
you know that the corn and everything in the up till the 70s was just like the right. It wasn't fucked with yet. It just was still just pure corn. Nowadays you actually have to like work to get organic non-GMO corn. It's not easy to do, as you know, right?
That's something
crazy.
like Brad says, it has that dusty funk sort of taste, but then you have, you know, after it airs just a little bit, then all the caramels, the vanillas, and the just full flavors. I mean, just unbelievable.
So
Comes out.
So
It's
look, once again, look at the like any Dusty, if it's pure looking like that, that's the same thing with the Dant. Now, I was at Revival where Mary Ann's going to be, and it's really cool. Brad like pulled it out and he was going to share me with this because he had purchased it and he wasn't sure. So he opens this one up, and this was It's called Old Commonwealth. And he opens that decanter up. Now I'm going to show you. He opened it up right there in front of me. He takes the cork off, and the cork's got some thing, but the seal was there, and he had just purchased it with a bunch of other stuff, and he pours it out, and he gets this. So he says to me, I'm going to pour that back in.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, he says to me, well, that's not a winner. And I'm like, oh, damn, because he wanted to share that with me, because this is Old Commonwealth with Julian Van Winkle, where he was before Stitzel-Weller. Right. So that's his, but it's all cloudy. So he looks at me and he goes, do you want the decanter? And I'm like, hell yeah. So I got that on the shelf, but you saw what the whiskey can do if it's not.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you just never know. But when you think about all the people that saved their old bottles, at what point do you think that this shit starts to run out?
Yeah,
it just gets less and less, right?
I was lucky that, like I say, I stored all of mine, in a temperature controlled climate and wrapped them up real good and sealed them. So every one so far, except for 2 of them that had the corks, and the corks deteriorated.
Yeah, remember that one that we opened at your house? That was all cloudy.
Yeah. But
Martin,
other than that, every other one, all the Jim Beams, I mean, I've got the painted Jim Beams and stuff like that, because that was the most of what he collected. But all of those have been so delicious. Everybody's always just raved about them when we opened them up and shared them with everybody. And that to me, and I know that's what my dad would have loved, looking back, as to sharing them with everybody and all that, and just knowing what it's been.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll have to get a special bottle on that trip just for you, Walter.
Yeah, and I've got about 3 more of those JW Dance left, and I've got some Jim Beams of the painted ones left. We'll figure out something. And I've got a few others. I got a few others in that I hadn't mentioned yet too. So
nice.
I gotta be honest.
Guys, thank you guys for fun.
What was that?
I think I woke up the whole family. This was fun tonight.
Yep, for sure. All right, we can wrap this up. Thank you so much. I know it's late, but that was a lot of fun. It definitely was. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Walter.
Yep.
Thank you, brother.
Walter,
Walter, real quick question.
Yes.
Is Louisville better for you, or is Frankfurt better for you when I come up?
I'm in both places a lot, so either one. The Frankfurt Distillery is probably, you get the real deal. I mean, the full experience and all that kind of stuff.
So that's the only one I've been to. I haven't been to Louisville yet.
Yeah. What do you think, Tiny?
I think so. They're okay. You're right. If you're like totally into whiskey and you love whiskey and distilling and everything, you're right. The Frankfurt thing is like the farm, all the grains are being grown. You know what I mean? You got that. But if you like music, Walter loves music. His sound system is amazing. I mean, so I saw the band twice. That I saw them at the whiskey festival when we were freezing our asses off. And then I saw him again when I was there a couple Saturdays ago. And honestly, I really enjoyed the band immensely at the Louisville, the new location. And Walter loves music. There's no doubt about it. I watched him play drums. It was awesome. It's like he sat in with the first musician a little bit, played some drums, and you can just tell how much. So that is
It happened.
his love for music happens there, and it's acoustically perfect.
Good.
And
room, yeah.
and it's so funny because they were playing and he started adjusting their speakers. He wanted to make sure everything was coming out right, and they sounded fantastic and as good. He made them sound as good as they probably ended their season freezing their butts off at Whiskey Festival in October, right? Late October that was. And then they started their season pretty much at the Nulu place. But I mean, each one had, well, put it this way, the bar and the music is highlighted a little bit more so, where the bourbon's highlighted at the Frankfurt one and the process of making it. So what you want for the experience, each one gives you a good experience.
Which genre of music
exactly.
do you normally do there?
Oh,
What
man,
type
we
of
do all
music?
kinds of stuff.
Jazz,
Jazz, bluegrass,
Okay.
singer-songwriter stuff. Not really like hard rock and roll.
Okay.
no, it's more like a New York nightclub. I mean, I think if you if anybody, I'm going to date myself, Sade should play there.
Hey, there you
Well,
go. I like that idea.
I'm gonna date myself. I played backup for Grover Washington Jr. in a concert one time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
So if it's jazz or acoustical, I'm good with it. If it's heavy metal, I'd just soon go drink. But if it's
There's no heavy metal.
Okay, we'll do Louisville then, so I can get that experience.
It had a little country
great.
flair when I was there.
Sorry, Walker.
It had a little country flair when I was there.
All I can
That's
tell
all
you,
right.
Walker,
George
when we
Jones
were
was one of the
there,
first concerts I went
the
to.
only thing that was, if Walter would have been there, that would have added perfection. But hanging out with Christy and Mark Carter at the bar at Whiskey Thief was a pretty fucking awesome experience.
Oh, what a night.
Derek showed up
No,
late.
that's awesome.
That sounds wonderful.
Where the hell was I? Why wasn't I there?
You were out of town because you let us know. So I wanted, you had showed it to us. We were there. I'm just like, so Christy and Mark just met us there right at about 11 o'clock, and they did a flight, and they loved. You know what Christy loved of yours? She loved the rye. She almost lost her.
Yeah, Christy
she
and Mark
lost
were the
her
best.
mind on the rye.
Yep.
I may
Christian-
try to make it.
Christian Mark are awesome.
Yeah.
I may
Yeah.
try to make it on a weekend so that these guys could join us.
He is just so much fun, a complete character and just awesome in himself. I mean, you can
Yep.
ask for a better person. And,
So
oh my gosh, whiskey representative.
Walter, why didn't you go to next year? You got to go and enter into New Orleans. We'll go down with you.
I'm done.
What? What was that?
Done. We'll do it.
You're
Done.
good.
He's going to
Yeah.
do it.
Because we'll go down. We'll all hang out. I mean, New Orleans is a freaking party.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
yeah.
And not only that, but what you're doing definitely needs to be entered into the competition, Walter.
All right. We'll do it.
All right.
Sounds great.
I love it.
All right. We'll let you all go. I'm going to end the meeting. Thanks, everybody.
You're the best. This is fun. Thank you.
All
All
right.
right, guys.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night.
Good night.
That was awesome.
I figure out how to turn this off.
What? Yeah, you can turn it off. Watch CT. He'll turn it off. But I'll turn it off for all of us. I'll just end it. Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get back to studying. Y'all have a great night.
See you guys. Night, y'all.
Night.
All right. Good night, y'all. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, John Boy.
Kill it.
All right, everybody on YouTube, we're out. Thanks for joining us. Let's see what we got. Hopefully we got 155. Okay, let's see. And